bonjour, and tanse everyone. My name is Pearl and welcome back to another virtual Sunday school. Today we are going to be talking again about a man named Samuel. So, a long time ago, there lived a prophet named Samuel. And Samuel helped the people of Israel live in God's way. Now, Samuel had helped the people find their first king, and that king's name was King Saul. One day, God said to Samuel, "It's time to find a new king." But Samuel wanted to do as God asked, but Samuel was not sure how to do his job. "Where will I go? How will I find this new king?" Samuel asked. God said, "Go to Bethlehem and find a man called Jesse. Jesse has many children, and one of them will be the new king. I will show you which one to choose. I will show you which to anoint with oil so that everyone will know that this is the one." So Samuel went to a town where Jesse and his family lived. Samuel looked at Jesse's sons one by one. He didn't know which one he should choose. "This one looks handsome," he said. But God said, "No, not this one." "Well, this one looks strong," said Samuel. But God said again, "No, not this one." Samuel looked at 5 more sons, and each time God said, "No, not this one. No, not this one. No, not this one. No, not this one. No, not this one." Samuel was getting worried. He said to Jesse, "Do you have any more children?" Jesse said, "Well, there is one more, but David is the youngest son. He is a shepherd, and he's out in the field looking after sheep." "Please send for David," said Samuel. "I need to see him too." So David came and stood in front of Samuel, the smallest and the youngest of his brothers. And Samuel heard God say, "Yes, this is the one. David will be king." So Samuel carefully poured some oil on David's head to let everyone know that God had chosen David. And one day, when David was older, he would be the new king. Until then, David would watch the sheep, play his harp, and sing songs about God. I liked that story a lot. What was your favorite part? I think my favorite part was when Samuel had to go to all of the sons and God kept saying, "No, not that one. No, not that one. No, not that one." That was pretty funny. God saw a lot of potential in David. Even though he was the smallest and the youngest, God knew that he would one day become a great king. God sees potential in all of us, even if you're the smallest and the youngest. What kind of potential do you think he sees in you? Maybe you want to grow up to be a doctor or a teacher or a carpenter. Or maybe you just want to have a lot of dogs when you grow up. Each one of us has a lot of potential, and God knows about it. All this talk about potential gives me a pretty good idea for a craft. Come on, everyone, let's go to the craft corner. Before we start, I just wanted to let everyone know that for our craft today, you will need 2 pieces of paper, a pair of scissors, some tape, some markers, a glue stick, and a handful of cotton balls. Hello everybody and welcome to the Craft Corner. So today we have been talking a lot about the potential God sees in us. And since David was a shepherd, I thought we could make a little sheep, a little lamb today filled with all of the potential that God might see. So To start out, you're going to take your colored piece of construction paper. Now this can be any color. I like purple, but you could choose black or blue or red or orange or pink or any color under the rainbow. And on this piece of paper, you are going to draw a sheep. Now this sheep doesn't have to be too fancy. I'm not going to draw my sheep too fancy. And if you need, you can get help from an older sibling, like a brother or sister, or maybe from an adult. Let's do that now. Now that you have your sheep drawn on there, maybe you want to name your sheep. So if you'd like to give your sheep a name, or maybe you can give it your own name, you can write it at the top here. I am going to give my sheep a name. All right, so now that we have our sheep, and now that our sheep has a name, we are going to write a few things inside the sheep that you think you have the potential for. Things that you might want to do when you grow up, things that you might want to be when you grow up, anything that you think you have potential for, you can write inside your sheep. And you could do maybe 3 or maybe 5 things, however many you think. I'm going to write down 5. And these are just things that I think I can do when I grow up. So, our next step involves a sheet of white paper. And in that white paper, you are going to make another outline of the body of the sheep, just the body. So you might not be able to see to trace it, maybe it's not see-through, but you can just kind of guesstimate if it's this big, then it's going to be that big on the paper, and it can be slightly different sizes. It's okay, nobody's perfect. So we're going to draw just the body of the sheep now. Once you have the body of the sheep, and it looks a bit like a cloud, doesn't it? Once you have the body of the sheep, and it's about the same size, you can cut this body out. All right, and now that you have the body of your sheep again, and it's about the right size, it's okay if it's a little too big, a little too small, it doesn't matter. Now that you have that, we are going to glue on some cotton balls, and we're just going to glue these cotton balls to the white piece of paper, just to the body. So we're actually going to take Lucy and all of my potentials, and we're going to set her aside for a second so we can just focus on the white body. So we are going to take our trusty glue stick and glue some cotton balls down. Let's do that now. Sometimes it can get a little bit messy. So if you're finding that it's getting a little bit messy, maybe you can ask a parent or an older sibling, like a brother or sister, to help. Perfect. And now we should have a nice fluffy sheep body, and it should feel just like wool. And make sure that you're glued on tight and that none of the cotton balls are going to come off. Glue is sometimes sticky, and sometimes if it dries out a little bit, it's not so sticky. So always remember, after you're done gluing, put the cap tight back on the glue stick so that it doesn't dry out. So now that we have our sheep body, we can bring Lucy back here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the top part of our sheep body, and in a couple of places on the page, we are going to tape it down just on the top. Okay, we're not going to tape the bottom and we're not going to tape the sides. We're going to just tape the top. Let's do that now. All right, now that we have taped just along the top here, and you can see, if you'd like, that I did it on the little bumps. The little bumps along the body, I just put a little piece of tape to hold it together. And now we have a beautiful sheep, and if you look under the wool, all of our potentials. Look at how many things I have the potential to do. And they can be kept a little bit secret just for me and Lucy to know. And now that you're done your little potentials and you're done your sheep, you can decorate it however you like. So I'm going to do a little bit of decorating right now. Lucy looks beautiful. I added a little hat, an earring, I painted her hooves, I gave her a little watch and some rosy red cheeks. And again, right under all of her wool is my potential, all of the things I have the potential to do. And you can do this at home with anything that you think you have the potential to do, and then you can hang it up in your bedroom or on the fridge or anywhere where you'd like to be reminded of your own potential. Thank you so much, everyone, for the wonderful time. I had so much fun telling stories and doing crafts, and I am sure that after today, I will never forget the potential that God sees in me and that I see in myself. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and remember, God loves you very much, and you should love yourself too. Bye, everyone.